Hello, this is Carling in off the bar. Says it on the card. Focus on Everton today. That's Danny Mills. Hello, Danny Mills.
Hello.
You're here every time.
I am Mr. Rushden.
Yeah, ever present. Kevin Campbell, you're here. How are you, Kev?
I'm very well, thanks.
More than 140 games for Everton, 51 goals for Everton. Did you play against each other?
Several times. Everton, Arsenal reserves probably, back in the day.
Back in the days, yeah.
West Brom. Where else did you? You went everywhere.
I was all over the place, Dan. Nottingham Forest, we played against each other.
Hired hitman, was you see? Goal scorer.
And then a good handshake at the end of the game.
Always.
Yeah. OK, good stuff. Right, Everton-Burnley, 2:15 kick-off, Super Sunday. We're recording this before the Europa League game on Thursday, just in case something ridiculous happens there. But it's a big game for Everton, and God, they needed that win over Bournemouth, didn't they?
They were desperate for that win. A lot of new players came into the club. You know, there was a lot of pressure on Ronald Koeman and the team to get these points, and you know, that win at Goodison was much needed.
Is Oumar Niasse the next Kevin Campbell?
No, the Oumar Niasse is the Oumar Niasse. Let's be honest. You know, he's gone through some tough times at Everton to start with, but he's making a big name for himself again now. The fans are all on his side. And you've got to take your hat off to Ronald Koeman for actually giving him a chance and putting him back in.
So do you? Because he didn't give him a chance to start with. So, you know, he sort of couldn't take the credit now, but it was him who didn't give him a locker and said, you're not allowed to play.
Yeah, but it's amazing sometimes how just one game can make the whole difference. It might be a training session.
Definitely. Something
happens where, you know, especially for a centre forward, you know, you keep missing the target. All of a sudden, you hit one go, 3 goes in, 4 goes in training, and then suddenly our manager goes, yeah, I'll give him a go. And then you take that confidence into a game, you score, and it can turn around not just your season, but almost your career.
Danny, also, the fact is, Martinez brought him in. He wasn't a Ronald Koeman signing. So sometimes that's a mitigating factor that Ronald Koeman's probably got there. What's he like? Don't really fancy him. I've got to start again.
Were you ever forced to rot in the reserves, Danny?
Once or twice, maybe 3 times. Happened at Norwich when Mike Walker was manager, who obviously went off to Everton. At the time, was forced to go and train reserves for 6 months till I got to move to Charlton. And then again at Leeds, Peter Reid was manager. Also played another Everton link. This is great, this, isn't it? You know.
You thought about it?
I know, this is brilliant. And again, had to get rid of a certain amount of players at the football club and basically just went, OK, go and train with the kids in the car park.
What's that like? It's
tough. I was lucky to be around some senior players at that time. Ian Hart, Stephen McPhail, David Batty, Nick Barmby. Bats was brilliant. Bats just went, you know what, lads, work to rule. You know, turn up, do your job, leave, get paid, and they can't do anything about it. And it's tough, but that's the sort of mentality you've got to have with it.
Ever happened to you? No one would put you in the reserve?
No, it's never happened to me, but I've seen it happen to players, and I've never agreed with it because for me, it's soul destroying. I see them, and they're not the same.
And so, sometimes it's personal, isn't it?
Yes.
Sometimes it's not for footballing reasons.
That's right.
It's a personal issue that, you know, if the manager's had a row with the player or whatever. Niasse obviously is different. As Kev said, new man comes in and he's probably thinking, well, why is he in the reserves? And you're already sort of slightly, there must be a problem. His attitude must be bad. He's been put there for a reason, and you ignore him for a little bit. And then maybe he's seen something in training and thought, actually, no, this kid deserves a go.
It was amazing footage of Wayne Rooney with the blood pouring out of his eye on Saturday, wasn't it? How pleased are you that he's gone back to Everton?
I think it's a lot of unfinished business with Wayne Rooney going back to Everton. Obviously, he's had a fantastic career, but he left at such a young age. You know, I think it was 17 when he left the club. It's a big chunk of his career he spent elsewhere, but coming back to Everton, he's a Everton fan. So I just think, you know, to finish his career.
Difficult question, Kev. Would they have been maybe better off spending the money? I know it was a free transfer, but obviously the amount in wages, maybe on somebody else, a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I believe if you're going to get there, if you're going to move up the league, you need players who have done it.
Yeah.
Everton have invested quite a bit of money in their squad. It needs to knit together, but you need people who have run the course. Wayne Rooney's run the course. He's got all the medals. You
were on the pitch when he scored that goal against Arsenal. You could say that you took the defenders away to create the space for Rooney. You've never been given that credit until now.
I was just about to have a go at him because I thought I was in. I was looking for the pass.
What was he like, though, as a 16, 17-year-old?
Well, I first played with Wayne Rooney when he was 14 years old. We had a reserve game against Southport and got on the coach, saw this kid on the coach. I thought he was one of the coach's kids. got to the...
Although he did have a beard at 14.
got to the ground and he's putting the kit on. Andy Holden said, you're going to be playing with him. Taff said, treat him like a first team player. I'm thinking, 14 years old, he's 14. But what I witnessed that day, my goodness, he was special. I got in the next day, told all the lads, he got 2 goals that day, told all the lads, there's a kid coming. I said, I've seen nothing like it. And he came straight from school into the first team squad, which never happens. So he was special.
And you were his England captain on his debut, Danny.
Yeah, it was, but he joined the England squad a couple of times before that. And Kev's right, he just had that, there was something about him. He had the ability at such a young age, what was it, 16, 17 in the England squad, to find space and have a calmness around him, almost like Scholes would, that nobody else could find it. And to have that at 16, 17 years old, and then to have the pace and the power and the finishing ability and the confidence, everything to go with it was absolutely ridiculous. But he was, he was a man, in a boy's body. Or a boy in a man's body.
Body, yeah.
Get that right way around.
That's not Benjamin Button.
Yeah, but it was just, he was a physical specimen, wasn't he?
Yeah,
at 16. And going back to then, you had to be, because the game was a lot different and it was a lot more physical.
Right, we're going to do some nostalgia with you in a bit, Kev. All season, Carling and Sky Sports have been helping filmmakers throughout the season to create a video on just what their club means to them. Today, Everton fan Adam Partington tells us why Everton is the people's club.
Okay, so my name's Adam Partington and I'm an Evertonian. I've been coming here since about the age of 4 or 5, and in my day job I work in marketing, which is okay, but the stuff I do outside of work I get really excited about, and that's the work that I do for Grand Old Team, which is the video content. So today I'm in Liverpool to do a short film to look at the work that Everton do in the community and what it means to Evertonians and how proud we are of what Everton does for the surrounding community. The phrase "more than a club" is associated with Barcelona throughout the footballing world, and rightly so in most cases. However, I think that phrase is now more applicable to Everton. Granted, we've not quite reached the heights of Barcelona or managed to emulate the success that the club had in the 1980s. However, there's one thing that makes us immensely proud as Evertonians, and that's the work this club does off the pitch. So whether it be running disability teams or combating homophobia and racism, Everton lead the way. Its motto is "nothing but the best is good enough," and that philosophy underpins this club.
So what I do at Everton Community is I run a veterans project. So I support ex-forces who are now out of the forces. So I support them as Everton supported me when I first got out. So we have one-to-ones any time through the week. So if anybody wants to come in, have a chat, get any support, anything at all, you can just pick up the phone, ring me, or come in and have a chat with me.
There's so many things that the charity can offer you, from a second chance to providing education to just giving you an opportunity to spend time socially with other people away from any stresses that you have. And it's working for the community all year round, whether the local football teams win, lose, draw, the charity is always there working, and it's always there for the community that need them.
These are exciting times for Everton. After years of scraping the barrel when it comes to transfers, the club's finally acquiring some decent talent, has some fantastic young players and a manager who knows how to win.
With talks of us moving and stuff like that, Everton Community are here to stay, so we're staying in this area to support in this area, and we'll still be in and around the new club wherever it goes.
As the club looks to enter a brave new dawn, it will continue to be at the forefront of people's lives for future generations. Everton, the People's Club.
Thanks, Adam, for that film. Did you go along with that, Kev? First thing you said was, "I know that pub." That he was
I know
saying.
the Winslow very well. Yeah, I've pulled a couple of pints in there myself. Everton in the community is absolutely huge. The club take great pride in it. Probably one of the most forward-thinking clubs in the world in that sense in the community. They reach out to so many people and do so much good. It's amazing.
And how important is that? More importantly, do players like doing that sort of thing, helping out the community, or is it just kind of...
Some do, some don't. I think some sometimes struggle. If you put players in front of a camera, they freeze.
Yes.
If you put players in front of a group of school kids, they're not always sure what to say. I think sometimes you find those that may be a little bit older or have got children themselves a lot easier to deal with it.
Yeah.
And also they feel maybe they're giving a little bit back. So no, I was one of those ones. I used to enjoy it. You know, going in, you just got to throw yourself into it. You know, it is what it is. Enjoy it, get on with it, and then you get sort of the plaudits for it.
I think a lot of the way football's going now, a lot of clubs are being a bit more disjointed with the local community and the fans. So to be able to bridge that gap is fantastic for the club.
Let's do some nostalgia then. Dan Owen sent me a tweet, Kevin, saying, could you ask Kev who scored the last winner for Everton at Anfield? Do you know the answer to that question?
I think it was about 18 years ago, 17, 18 years ago. It was myself. It was myself.
Was you?
Yeah, it was myself.
Talk us through the goal.
It was early. I know 3 players were sent off in that game. It was a reverse pass from Franny Jeffers. Come at quite an awkward height. It was at the cop end as well. And what's quite unique about that goal is when the ball hit the back of the net, Evertonians are in the cop. And that's what makes it so unique. You wouldn't get that anywhere else, but Evertonians are actually in the cop. I see them celebrating in the cop. So, yeah, won that game 1-0.
What's Kevin Campbell trivia? Come on, give them to us.
Well, I think one of them, I'm the first Arsenal player to score a hat-trick in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The joint with Lacazette now, that scored the fastest goal in the Premier League. I'm the first player to score 3 hat-tricks for 3 different clubs in the Premier League. I'm the first player to be on loan.
All right, that's enough now. This is embarrassing.
Come on, Dan, I want to
I'm
hear
the
this.
first player to
can't
be
just
on
fuel
loan
his
to
ego.
win Player of the Month.
Yeah.
And I think I'm one of the only players to score over 100 goals, never to get an England cap, full England cap.
Should he have got an England cap?
No. I won't be a trivia then, would I?
No, I tell you what, I mean, you were up against some competition.
It was a
weren't
lot
you?
of competition back then. I mean, I was in 5 squads.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a game.
Tell us about Pierre Van Hooydonk, because he wasn't just Everton, you obviously at Arsenal, Forest as well. Did he go on strike because they sold you?
Well, the story is this, right? The story is this. Yes, he did. I was at Heathrow Airport about to fly out to Turkey, and my phone goes, and it's Pierre Van Hooydonk on the phone. He said, is it true? I said, is what true? He said, that the club are selling you. I said, the club have told me in no uncertain terms they've accepted a bid from Trabzonspor in Turkey, and I'm going over to speak. He said, that's it. He says, I'm not going back. And I laughed. I said, come on, Pierre. He says, I'm not going back. He said, what we've done, and now we've got an opportunity to do it in the Premier League. He said, the club are crazy. I'm not going back. And I thought he was only joking. I got to Turkey, agreed terms and everything like that. And all that week, I'm saying, Pierre Van Hooydonk's gone on strike. But he kept it going, and I'm ringing him and said, Pierre, you got to go back. He says, no way, I'm not going back. He said, they split our partnership up and that. It was crazy, I couldn't believe it.
Back to Arsenal.
So it's my fault.
It is your fault. Wow, that's great. Someone loved you like that. We'd all dream of that. Is it true that you had the choice of football or music?
Yes, it was. When I was coming up from Brixton, I used to do a lot of DJing, rap type thing. And Arsenal got wind of me making a song.
Oh, what was it called?
It was actually, do you remember a song called The Tide is High? It's like a cover of The Tide is High, but with a lot of rap in it. Pat Rice heard about it, and he put a stop to it very promptly.
Really?
Yes.
So Pat Rice is responsible for us not hearing Kevin Campbell's rapped remake
That's
of The
right.
Tide is High.
You could have been the new Jay-Z, the first Jay-Z.
I don't know about that, but it's something I really enjoyed. It's something I really enjoyed.
Can you remember it? I'm not going to ask you to do it.
No, I can't. This is a long time ago now. I was probably 14 at the time.
And you then had a record label when you finished playing, or were you still playing?
I was
You had a
still
record
playing,
label?
I was still playing.
And you signed Mark Morrison
Signed Mark
after
Morrison.
Return of the Mac?
Yeah, after Return of the Mac, Mark Morrison had just, with me, recorded an album. Fantastic album. But the music industry is a bit like the football industry. It's not your normal industry. And he had that many skeletons in the cupboard. He had that many enemies in the industry that trying to promote it. He didn't want to deal with this person, or he didn't want to go on this radio station. So you can't work like that.
All right, Kev, we're going to get you to do your all-time Everton five-a-side team. We are focusing on Everton. Might get you to do your all-time one from all the clubs you played for afterwards, but give us your Everton one and talk us through the players and why you've picked them.
Thomas Myhre, when I first got to the club, he was a top goalkeeper, Norwegians #1 at the time, Norway. Stopper. Dave Watson, good stalwart, took pride in defending. I think Dave Unsworth, because he's a left footer. Not only is he a left footer, but he used to be able to play left back, wing back, and centre half.
So 2 defenders in your father's side?
Yeah. Okay. And he will smash people as well, which is good.
It's a big team. It's a big team so
team
far.
already.
And
penalties
as well.
Yeah, penalties and
good.
stuff like that. Tommy Gravison, very technically gifted, unbelievable ability, and a bit of a lunatic, so got that lunatic fringe in there. Paul Gascoigne, need I say more? Probably the most gifted player I've witnessed on a football pitch.
What was he like when he came to Everton? Because he was sort of nearing the end of his career.
Yeah, he was nearing the end of his career. I mean, I remember playing with and against Gazza in the England setup and against Tottenham at the time. Gazza was so gifted, it was crazy. Could do anything with football. He's one of the only players I remember who could control the tempo of a game. He could slow it down or speed it up. And up front, Fox in the box, Franny Jeffers. Always likely to nick a goal.
So no Rooney?
I would, for me, Rooney ain't a 5-a-side player. He's an 11-a-side player.
Neville Southall?
I didn't play with Nev.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't play with Nev.
Have I just added 10 years on top?
Yeah, big time, yeah. Cheers, Dan.
Everton 5-a-side team versus your all-time 5-a-side team. Give it to us.
All-time, Dave Seaman in goal. England's finest at the time. Tony Adams, proper defender, leader. Martin Keown, rash.
Hang on, Keown and Adams in a 5-a-side team.
Keown and Adams.
This is not tick-a-tacker, is it?
No, forget tick-a-tacker. They're going to smash people.
This is killing people.
Yeah, you know what I mean? This is the old school.
Okay.
This is old school. Paul Gascoigne would have to get in there.
Okay.
I think you're going to need Roger Milford as the referee to
Paul
allow things to go a little bit.
But here's the finesse. Here's the finesse. I'm going to put Anders Limpar,
Oh, yeah, great
ability,
player.
and probably one of the best 5-a-side players I've ever played with, Brian Roy. Brian Roy, left footer, Ajax, unbelievably silky, special player, special.
No righty?
Righty was a good 11-a-side player. 40 was a good 5-a-side player. He'll probably kill me now, but he worked great at 5-a-side.
There's only one issue with both your sides.
Go on.
You've got 6 players in each one.
Yeah, good.
Good. All right, look, we're building a wall of players, the best players to go on a night out with. Matt Elliott picked Jerry Taggart, Rob Lee picked John Beresfords. Where are you going, Kev? You've got a lot of choice here.
I've got a lot of choice. I have. And I'm not going to go your usual route.
Okay. So not the Arsenal Tuesday Club?
No, I'm not going to do that because that would be too straight. I'm going to go with Steve Watson.
Okay.
Ex-Newcastle, was at Everton. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve, but he's got a special one. If you're ever upstairs in an establishment,
right,
he's got a party piece that he does coming down the stairs. So that might be something you keep your eye on.
Can you tell us any more on camera or not?
Yeah. What he does, he tumbles. He does a tumble down the stairs, and the whole bar would stop, and he'll be down for about 30 seconds. Then he'll jump up and go to the bar and get a drink while everybody's waiting.
And he did that out of choice, or just that was just what happened?
No, he could always do it. I don't know how he could tumble like that. I'd have killed myself, but it was a party piece of his.
All right, Steve Watson.
Steve Watson.
In the side.
Plenty of defenders.
Yeah, we've got a solid side. Well, as the season goes on, we'll ask for some, number 10s. But they're not normally as good on a night out, I imagine.
Just a bit flash.
It's just centre-backs, isn't it? It's just solid. Right, can we have a prediction for the Everton-Burnley game then?
Everton going to win 2-1.
Danny, do you want to do one?
I'm going to go 1-1. I think it'll be a tight game.
Kev, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. We asked for a 5-a-side team. We've got 2 6-a-side teams.
Two
but you're late.
6-a-side team. Hey, listen, I don't mind. I need a sub.
And one playing for both. But
I need a sub.
Cheers, Kev.
Pleasure.
What's up, man? Cheers, Danny.
Cheers, Kev.
Cheers, Dan.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks again.
See you again in this pub. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon, and I'll see you then. Take it easy.